Hi, this is Jim at Crawl Auto Parts, and today we're going to be showing you how to put the 5.7D bracket on the driver's side rear of a Chevy 350 engine. The one we're working on is a 95 Chevy pickup 350 engine and a 3/4 ton. And we got the back bolt broken off in the corner. These brackets also fit other GM vehicles that had the 305, 350, etc. small block Chevy engines. Like I said, this is a 95. And we're going to show you how this is going to go on. First, I'm going to show you the parts that come in a kit and the wrenches needed. There's not a lot needed. We've got the instruction sheet, the bracket here, 5.7D, and a couple bolts that come with it. And then wrenches, you're going to need a 17 millimeter for tightening the pinch bolt, and a 9/16 wrench for removing the accessory bolts and installing if needed. There is one accessory bolt that you might have to take out. So we're going to go up here and show you where the bolts are that hold the bracket on. There is on this 95 a pre-existing bracket, which I'm going to point out here with the silver bolt stuck in here. We put it in here for your view so you could see it. There is a pre-existing small bracket here that is actually for the cruise control. And sometimes they also use them for sparkler wires. You won't have to remove this bracket, but you will have to remove the bolt that's in here, which is right here. The other hole we're going to use is further down. It's right on the bottom of the cylinder head. It's pre-drilled and threaded. It may be pretty dirty. You might want to take and run a tap in it, or at least a bolt with some oil and run in and out of there to make sure you clean up the threads. This one here does have the EGR pipe on the back of the manifold. Some of the earlier ones didn't have that. Some of the later ones did. We did remove this EGR pipe on this video just to show you better that you could see up here what we're doing. You do not have to remove the pipe when you do it. We just did it for better viewing. Okay? To start off with, you're going to want to take the bolt out up here that holds your existing bracket. And like I say, some of them have this bracket, some don't, but this one does have it. We're going to remove the bolt. And I'm going to remove this bolt that I stuck in here just for your viewing. Normally there would never be a bolt in that hole, and that's the one that you'd want to clean out with some cleaner and maybe a tap, but like I say, maybe just a bolt. You do not have to clean the bolt hole out very deep because we do use a very short bolt in our kit. All right, and like I say, we do have the bolt broken off on the back of the manifold. You can see the soot stain where it leaked around here. Okay, I'm going to put the bracket up in place. And like I say, if the EGR pipe was in here, you'd have to work your way around the pipe a little bit. It would make it a little more difficult to get it up there, but you can definitely get it in there. And we just removed the pipe so you could see better what we need to do here. Okay, there we have the top bolt in the bracket, and we got the bottom bolt here that we're going to use actually the original bolt from the top of the bracket. That bolt is shorter, and actually I would recommend using that bolt, especially if you have a lot of rust in that bottom thread. You do not need a very long bolt to hold it. So we're reusing, on this installation, we're reusing the bottom, or the bolt that was in the bracket originally on top, because it is a shorter bolt. Okay, they're both caught in there. All right, we're just tightening them down. You do not have to use a torque wrench for these. Just pull them down until they're snug. You don't have to get ridiculously tight with them. No need to over tighten these two bolts. They're just there more to hold it in place when you tighten the pinch bolt. Okay. Now sometimes, I'm going to show you here with the screwdriver. Sometimes it is necessary where this, if you've got the EGR pipe on here, it may be necessary to grind some off of our bracket if it hits your pipe. It depends on how the pipe was tightened. So you may have to grind a little bit off in the area where the pipe is if necessary, in case it does start to hit. And if it touches, it doesn't matter, just as long as the bracket can be, put into place and bolted down. So like I say, you may have to grind some off where literally it says USA on our bracket here. Grind a little bit off of that area. It's not going to affect the strength. It's plenty heavy. Okay, well, that's really the installation from below. Now we're going to drop the truck down and we'll show you from the top. Okay. All right, now we're back at the top of a 95 Chevy 3/4 ton pickup with the driver's side rear manifold bolt broken. We're installing the 5.7D kit. We did everything from the bottom. We're up on the top here, and the only thing we really have to do up here is tighten the pinch bolt. So here's the pinch bolt. It is a 17 millimeter head on that bolt, so you have to use a 17 millimeter wrench. Torque spec is about 20-25 foot-pounds on it. You don't have to use a torque wrench if you know approximately how hard you want to pull, but usually a regular hand wrench, no breaker bar, just a regular 17 hand wrench. You want to pull this down until it is definitely tight, not just snug. You can tell as you're pulling it down, that it is flexing some. It's going to do that, which it will stop once it gets to a stress point. And then just pull this down very, very good and tight. Don't be shy on these brackets. They're made to take it. They're US built, and we build them heavy. They're supposed to stand up to the heat and the cycling on these manifold clamps. So as you can see, it's starting to pull harder. I want to definitely pull it down. You want to pull it tight. It should literally stop you with a regular wrench. It should stop you from turning at the end. There, which it did. It's you want them, like I say, good and tight. And you maybe want to go back after maybe a few days and just recheck that pinch bolt just to make sure that it's seated down, since the manifold is going to have some heat cycles, and you should be good to go. Now, one thing to remember on these small block Chevys, when you're doing these, if you are taking the manifold off and redoing them, the original manifolds are iron on iron. The manifold is mounted straight to the head, nothing with gaskets in between. We do not recommend putting gaskets in between. They do not need them, and it's just a place for something to burn out. And that was due to them knowing that the expansion on these could cause the gasket to blow out. So, like I say, we do not recommend using gaskets in there. There's no reason for it unless you're running headers. And if you would use a gasket, do not use a fiber type gasket. Make sure it's a steel shim gasket with no fiber. You do not want to use a fiber gasket on these any of these small block Chevys. And this bracket also, the 5.7D, will fit the passenger side front too. The passenger side front, well, you'd have to do a little bit of modifying to the air conditioning bracket on the front of the motor. Nothing serious. If you do buy our bracket and want to install in the passenger front, we'd recommend you please call us directly on it so I can explain what you need to do. Like I say, it's not a huge thing, but there's a little modifying to the AC bracket. So if you do a call for them, another thing is we do make these brackets also for headers, not manifolds, but for actual aftermarket headers. If you want to put these brackets on with headers, please call us direct too, because it is a different part number that is made just for headers. And that should do it. Like I say, pretty easy installation. I know we tried to make it a little open here to see what we're doing, but if you got any questions on our product, please call us. And they are US made, and we build them right here.